the Bay Area Southern style, and a glorious day in Tampa, Florida today, and the fans are caught up in playoff atmosphere. There's a big party going on here in Tampa. And how do you like your lobster? As the NFC divisional playoff getting set to get underway, as the Washington Redskins take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And what a scene indeed, everyone. Welcome to Tampa. Dick Stockton with Matt Millen and Pam Oliver. And the Buccaneers, who got a bye this week, finished the regular season in a blaze of glory, winning 8 of their last 9, including 7 straight here. They have an incredibly potent defense, a rookie in Sean King at quarterback, but there's no mystery to how this team goes about their business.
Yeah, there's no question. And anybody who's been a Buck fan, or actually who's been an opponent of the Bucks, knows the recipe never changes for them. So what they're going to do today, no surprise, they're going to run the football. They're going to play solid defense. They're going to try to shorten the game and try to keep the ball away from that Washington offense. And then the biggest key in my mind is how the rookie, you mentioned Sean King, how he's going to handle this game. If that Buck offense can get to 3rd and short, 3rd and manageable for King, they'll be in good shape.
Now the Washington Redskins coming off an easy win over the Detroit Lions with their high-octane offense. And Norv Turner extremely confident coming in this game, despite the doubts that Stephen Davis, the running back, is going to start and could play the entire game. This team could put a lot of points, but I'll tell you, Norv Turner relaxed as you could want yesterday.
Very relaxed, and to a man, I believe, respectfully confident. They go into this game knowing that they're capable, knowing that they've played well down the stretch. And what they'll do again all comes down to Stephen Davis in that running game. Pounding inside, getting themselves some good play-action pass, and then throwing for big plays down the field. But the game within the game today that I'm really looking forward to is Norv Turner, arguably one of the best play callers in the National Football League, and Monty Kiffin, the mad professor I like to call him, because you never know what he's going to do. It may look like one thing, and you heard Chris Collinsworth talk about it on the pregame show. They'll show you something, but they'll give you something else. I'm really looking forward to it.
Should be a great one and a true contrast in styles. The explosive offense of the Redskins and the tremendous, ferocious defense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the winner here will move to the NFC Championship game next Sunday. For the Buccaneers, home, and the first time they have hosted a playoff game, and Sean King from St. Petersburg, about 10 miles west of here, and a big advantage for the Buccaneers. Teams with a bye week have a 17-1 record in the NFC and divisional games. The Bucs will get the ball first. Brett Connolly kicking off, and Warwick Dunn, who was installed as a kick returner the last 2 games of the regular season, fields this and muffs it on the 12-yard line, and Dunn will bring it out just shy of the 25. So let's set the offense for Tampa Bay. Sean King, 4-1 as a starter, and mopped up in the victory over Seattle when Trent Dilfer got hurt the week before. Pete Pearson, who hasn't started in 3 years, is at left tackle for Paul Gruber. Diaz, Mayberry up front, along with Middleton and Wunsch. Dunn and Allstott. Contrast in styles for the running backs. Jacquez Green and Bert Emanuel are the receivers, and underrated Dave Moore, the tight end. Tampa Bay starting from the 24-yard line, and a play-action pass on first down, and the pass is incomplete. It was intended for Green. Defensively for the Redskins, and they have stepped it up lately. Up front, it's Marco Coleman, Dana Stubblefield, Dan Wilkinson, and Anthony Cook. Stubblefield and Wilkinson keys today. The linebackers are Sean Barber, Derricks, and Greg Jones. Champ Bailey, the rookie, with a big year. At one corner, 17-year veteran Darrell Green, the other cornerback, with Sam Shade and Leamon Evans, the safeties. Dunn getting his first carry of the game for no gain.
And Dick, and this sets up on the very first series what they don't want to do all game long, and that is get into 3rd and long. They want to get into 3rd and manageable. The one thing about Sean King, and everybody talks about, is his poise and how unflappable he is. To me, he's an extension of his head coach. He's exactly like Tony Dungy. He's what Dungy likes. The interesting thing to me is something Dungy told us last night. He said, if we go into this 4th quarter down by 3, 10-7, we feel like we're winning.
Rarely hear that from a coach. Out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 10. And rookie Darnell McDonald in the game at wide receiver and nearly picked off. Warwick Dunn was the intended receiver, and way off the mark was that pass.
Well, first of all, I believe Mike Shula listened to Terry Bradshaw in the pregame. They were talking about, they came out and they did play action early. That ball looked like it got a little bit of a tip at the line of scrimmage, and Sean Barber almost had himself a shot at an interception. But again, it was the 3rd and long that they want to stay out of.
3 and out for the Bucks, and Mark Royals having a big year as the Bucks punter, and a fine kick. Brian Mitchell at the 29 returning for the Redskins, and he is dropped before he could get underway at the 35-yard line. 48-yard kick for Mark Royals. So the Redskins with their offensive play, Brad Johnson 3-1 as a starter against Tampa Bay. That is a member of the Minnesota Vikings. Kip Vickers is up front at left tackle, replacing Andy Heck. Sims Raymer also up front with Trey Johnson and John Jansen. Davis and centers the running backs. Westbrook and Connell the receivers. And outside, Stephen Alexander. Starting from the 35, and the handoff to Stephen Davis. Didn't look very good early in the week as to whether he would play at all, and he gets about a yard. Defensively, up front, Steve White, Warren Sapp, the NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Brad Culpepper, and Chidi Ahadatu. 2 Pro Bowlers at linebacker, Derek Brooks and Hardy Nickerson. Shelton Quarles with them. Rondy Barber and Donnie Abraham, the corners. John Lynch, he too going to the Pro Bowl, with Damian Robinson, the free safety. Larry centers in motion to the left, and Brad Johnson's first pass, and that one is incomplete. Hardy Nickerson defending on the play. Alexander, the intended receiver.
Dick, whenever you play this Tampa Bay defense, they do cause you some problems, but they're very, very basic. And what they force you to do is be patient. Just speaking to Brad Johnson, he said, I know on the field that I'm going to be patient. This one's on Norv on the sideline. He's got to be patient over there. And just talking to Norv in the pregame, remember he said, we're still going to take our shots.
Irving Fryer has come in and wide receiver. Brian Mitchell also in on passing downs. 3rd down and 8 for Brad Johnson, and his pass up the middle is caught by Connell, and he is stopped about 3 yards shy of the first down. And the Redskins may have to kick.
Dick, you know, this is a carbon copy first series for both teams. From the defensive side, they got him into 3rd and long, and then they play good, disciplined defense, force you to throw underneath. And unlike today's earlier game in that Miami debacle, today what you'll see is good tackling. That was the most pathetic tackling I've ever seen.
And an incredible runaway 62-7 Jacksonville victory. So 4th down, and Matt Turk will punt, and Carl Williams back deep for Tampa Bay. End over end punt and fielded by Williams, and he gets tripped up and dives forward to the 27-yard line. Dan Turk made the defensive play. Each team has had the ball once. They've been 3 and out, and we'll be right back. Buccaneers capturing the NFC Central for the first time in 18 years.
That's Trey Johnson over there on the sideline. To me, have gotten whacked in the eye. Got a little bit of ice in the towel there.
Buccaneers starting from their 27. And Warwick Dunn, maybe a yard, that's all.
This is Warren Sapp on the previous play on that 3rd down. And what he's going to be doing, first of all, you can notice that he's drawing a crowd. Second thing, you saw John Jansen get his left hand on him. And now this is for later on in the game. Warren Sapp is going to go over to the official, Dick Hantak, and tell him, just remind him that they're holding him. Didn't you see that hold? But you see the smile on his face? The respect? You know what that is? That's setting it up for later. Just to call it to attention, because we're all human.
Smart gamesmanship on the part of Warren Sapp. 2nd down and 10. And the handoff to Warwick Dunn. And Warwick Dunn gets close to the first down. And Leamon Evans, the free safety, rode the back of Dunn. And a gain of 9 yards.
Sometimes you're blocked, and sometimes you block yourself. And I want you to watch right here, Dan Wilkinson. What he's going to do, he's going to take that quick move, and all he did was created that void. And once that void is there, you better believe that Warrick Dunn's vision is going to get him to the hole. He's a scary guy and the only really legitimate big play guy in this offense right now.
3rd down and 1. Dunn is on the sideline, and Mike Allstott has Kevin McLeod up front blocking for him, and they give it to Allstott. And Allstott may not have made it. He did not, apparently. And the Redskins defense playing a lot better lately than they did earlier in the season. Right there. And Dunn is on the bench right now, shaken up. And he was healthier toward the end of the year, but might have gotten hit.
The one thing about Warrick Dunn, he may be small in stature, but he's got a heart the size of King Kong. That's the first thing. The second thing is he is, for me, he's a warrior. And he wants to play. And the one thing that bothered him, just in speaking to him this week, I want the ball. I'm a running back. I don't like to watch. I like to play.
He was their leading receiver this year, and
short ski,
and had his second most productive game as a runner in the season finale at Chicago. So the Redskin defense stiffens, and for the second time, the Bucs will have to kick.
Here's Warrick Dunn right at the end of that run that he had for about 8 yards. You can see there was a little bit of a face mask there by Leomon Evans, but he also got driven to the ground. He'll be back, no problem. I don't feel a thing from up here.
No. Mark Royals kicking for the second time, and it looked, Matt, as if Dunn is all right. Brian Mitchell goes back for the Redskins. And a booming kick. And a fair catch called by Mitchell back at around the 10-yard line. And this is the field position game when you have good kicking that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers thrive on. That was a 53-yard punt. Pam Oliver reports that Warrick Dunn suffered a jammed neck, the back of his neck, and he will return to the game. Meanwhile, Tony Dungy has to like this field position. Redskins starting from the 11-yard line. Stephen Davis gets through one arm tackle and picks up 1 yard on the play with Nickerson and Lynch in there.
What makes Stephen Davis special? Well, you hear the term all the time, downhill running. That's what he does extremely well. And what downhill running is basically is just straight ahead, and he's powerful. Sometimes with a guy like this, you don't need a big hole. All you need is a body on a body, and he will push the crease. He does it extremely well.
Playing with ankle and knee injuries. And this crowd picks up when the Redskins have the ball. It's 2nd and 8. And again, they hand off to Davis, and Tampa Bay right there. They're not letting Stephen Davis get a chance to break one. That was a gain that time of 1 yard. Steve White in on the play, 3rd down.
But this is where the patience come into play. What exactly does patience mean in a game like this? In a game like this, patience means stick with the game plan. Stay with what the heck you came with. You know, you studied them all week long. You know their personnel. You know your personnel. You know where your matchups are. Patience then becomes execution.
Redskins 50% on 3rd downs last week. See what they do here, and here's Thrash on the end around, and the Tampa Bay Bucs snuffed it out. Brian Kelly, who just came into the game as a nickel back, makes the play on Thrash, forcing the Redskins to punt from near the goal line.
This is one of those things, and Brian Kelly does the classic job of staying at home. But this out of Norv Turner, as you're going to see, they're coming back on the reverse. Kelly does a phenomenal job of staying there, forcing everything back in. On Norv Turner's side of the ball, it was patience. He's going to stay with what he came with, and that is to give him a different look early.
And a fine punt by Matt Turk that goes out of bounds inside the Bucs' 40-yard line. So you want to talk about getting out of big trouble. Matt Turk just did that for the Redskins.
It's going to be all game long. See Floyd Young, Shevin Smith right there along Curtis Buckley. Young comes in at the end just to say, hey, we're going to be here all game long. Curtis Buckley, 26, you better be ready.
Buccaneers starting from the 40-yard line. Their best starting field position of the game. And Mike Allstott with a lot of power, having his best year as a rusher, over 900 yards, gets 2 on the play.
You know, when you look at this Tampa Bay offense, to me, when I break them down, the inside 3 are the guys who have to play with well. Conversely, Stubblefield and Wilkinson have got to be able to control those inside 3. Howie Long was talking about it on the pregame show, about controlling defensive tackles of both sides. These two guys right here have played well as of late, but they've got to step their game up today if they're going to control the inside running of Tampa.
And Warwick Dunn, who jammed his neck, is back in the lineup for the Buccaneers on 2nd down and 8 from the 42. And King to Moore, the tight end, wide open. And a first down into Redskin territory. Evans made the tackle, but he is kind of a secret weapon for Tampa Bay in a gain of 15.
Well, what the secret weapon was the eyes of Sean King, Dick, because they came with a blitz right into his face. And the rule is if they're coming there, somebody's got to be open. You're going to watch Sam Shade right here. Shade comes clean, and King sees it perfectly. Remember, he's a little vertically challenged, I might add. Not a real tall guy, but tall enough to see Dave Moore on the out. Bing. First down.
And the Buccaneers on the Redskin 43-yard line. No score. 7 minutes to go in the first quarter, and Sean King is going to take off, and Barber is going to bring him down after a minimal gain.
Well, I think there's a valuable lesson for Sean King. Next time I'll slide. Don't take him on with your head.
That's the first rule.
Charlie Batch up in Detroit. Yeah, he knows it too. He said, man, I got my bell rung on that one. I guarantee the next time he will go feet first. You know, watch him. He's kind of right in between, and you're going to lose that. And that's Sean Barber, the linebacker, and he head-to-head contact, you're going down.
Hey, Sean King with tremendous poise. They asked him how old he is at 22. He acts like he's 32 and has been in the league for double-digit years. 2nd down and 8. Being in the pocket, and the ball is dropped. Warwick Dunn.
Ooh, that was really close. Yep. That was very well set up. And Frank Middleton had gotten his block on Sean Barber. And they had a lot of green out there. With Dunn in the open field, that's scary. Again, now you get into this 3rd and long, which they didn't want to get into. 3rd and manageable is what you want to try to accomplish if the offense, which is 3rd and 5 or shorter. And in there, you have a lot more option with the kind of routes you run. And it also, you can get rid of the ball a lot quicker.
3rd down and 8 at the 41-yard line. King out of the shotgun. And Carl Williams going in motion. King with pressure, and the pass thrown deep, and Jacquez Green covered by, guess who? Darrell Green in his 17th year, and up for the challenge.
Well, you're not going to be able to make that throw down the field, first of all, if you don't get protection up front. And I want you to watch Warwick Dunn. Does a nice job on Sam Shade, jammed neck and all. He's able just to take him out, and then allows this throw deep down the field. A ball in which Green had himself about a half a step, but Darrell Green was right on top of him.
And a pooch kick by Mark Royals, and an effective one, and they'll get it inside the 10. So once again, Mark Royals does the job from his punting position, and he pins the Redskins inside their 10. We'll be right back. Blimp, the granddaddy of all the Goodyear blimp shots above this beautiful stadium. The Redskins' last possession started from the 11. They begin now from the 8-yard line. And Stephen Davis on the carry. Davis brings it out to about the 11 or 12-yard line. Brad Culpepper brings him down. Tomorrow, the pregame show begins at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific. Set your alarm clocks. It's an early game as the Minnesota Vikings tangle with the St. Louis Rams.
Yeah, and what you're going to get? Some great quarterback play tomorrow. Jeff George is playing very well and taking that offense along. Kurt Warner, what more can you say? 44,000 yards, 41 passes. The MVP, they're having a phenomenal year.
Stephen Davis again, and it is apparent that Norv Turner looking to get the running game going before he unleashes Brad Johnson in a big way. That was a gain of 2 yards, and will bring up 3rd down.
You know, there's some nice matchups going on up front. And one of the best is Trey Johnson inside against Warren Sapp and Brad Culpepper. And those guys, that's a downhill man, 77, against the defensive tackle group that likes to move around a lot.
3rd down and 4, and here is Johnson, and he completes the pass to Albert Connell, and a first down. So a bullet thrown by Brad Johnson as Brian Kelly and Damian Robinson make the tackle and a pickup of 11.
Boy, Bullet was right. Bullet was right, and again, they came with a little bit of stun up front. You can see the tackles and ends kind of trying to cross inside, but there was time. And because of that time, watch this, zipped right in between the safety Lynch and Kelly outside. First down.
Remember last week, they didn't need a lot of the weapons because it was Stephen Davis and Larry Centers in an easy win. On first down, play action, and this pass to a wide-open Irving Fryer, and the 36-year-old veteran makes a 16-yard grab and a first down at the 42-yard line.
Dick, this goes back to what Norv Turner told us in the pregame show when I was talking to him on the sideline. He said, yes, we have to be patient, but we can't not run our offense. We like to take shots down the field, and they're going to push the ball. It's not going to be all little short things underneath, 15, 18, 20 yards.
Two tight ends in the game. First down from the 42. Another play action pass, and a lot of time for Brad Johnson. And this pass may be intercepted. It is ruled incomplete as Irving Fryer defended downfield by John Lynch. Dick ball hung.
Actually, let's twist that one around. Actually, Irving Fryer ended up defending John Lynch because Lynch did an excellent job of not taking this play fake bite. He kept his depth. You can see him right up here, and he's starting to get his depth. Now they try to put the safety there in the position to make a decision, either jump on the underneath or stay deep. He played it perfectly, and right at the end, watch this by Fryer. Become the defender. Excellent transition game.
Second down and 10. They're going to go to play action again, and the screen pass is set up to Stephen Davis, and Davis gets hit, but not before he gets the first down into Tampa Bay territory, and it's Chidi Ahanatu who gave him a shot, and a gain of 15.
And Ahanatu had to make that play down the field because it was a nice block by the big Trey Johnson, the Pro Bowl guard. And remember, I talked about him being a downhill guy. Well, what he also does is he does a pretty good job right here. Does a pretty good job of being in space. And yes, he lost his feet, but he got his man. And just that little nit allowed him to get the first.
Redskins in Bucs territory for the first time. Davis with a good hole up the middle, and Stephen Davis picking up about 5 or 6 before undercut by Derek Brooks. And remember, Norv Turner said that if Davis does not aggravate his knee or ankle injury, and the ankle injury more severe at this point, he would play the entire game. Those are his numbers thus far.
Now, he talked about at the start of the game the chess match between Norv Turner and Monty Kiffin. Right now, Norv Turner is winning it because he has this Tampa Bay defense off balance.
8th play of the drive. From the 38 of Tampa Bay, Davis diving forward short of the first down by a couple of yards. It'll bring up 3rd and short with 1:50 remaining in a scoreless first quarter.
What impresses me most about this Tampa Bay defense and Monty Kiffin is their patience. Because it's one thing to have to be patient, force a team, you're going to do the same thing. Everybody knows what you're going to do, basically. But every now and then, they'll roll the bones a little bit, and then here will come a safety, and they'll show you a blitz and pull it back. Monty Kiffin does a phenomenal job of coaching his players on the weaknesses of his defense, and they cover it well.
Third down and 2. And Brad Johnson goes down. He couldn't find a receiver, and Warren Sapp on the big sack knocks the Redskins out of field goal range.
He should turn around and kiss John Lynch, because that is a John Lynch sack. Excellent job by John Lynch of jumping the coverage. He's going to try to hit Sellers right away in the flat, but he couldn't get there because Lynch right here will jump this. Look, they tried to pick him, but he's right on top of it. Nowhere to go with the ball. You have to have a bite out of it, and then Sapp bites him.
12.5 sacks in the regular season, less than a sack away from Leroy Selman's all-time club leadership. And Matt Turk trying to keep it in play and does so effectively. We have a pair of outstanding punters here today, and they're going to mark that at the 7 when we come back. where you will earn points for correctly predicting the next play and compete against others in real time during today's game. That's only at foxsports.com. Boy, football has become fun, hasn't it, for the armchair guy watching the game?
Football has always been fun for me. I love it. But I'll tell you this, there's some guys sitting there with their arms on chairs right now thinking they can do better than 6 punts in 6 possessions.
Starting from the 7-yard line of the Buccaneers, first down, and the handoff to Warwick Dunn. And so far, the running game has been snuffed out by both teams.
Dick, this Washington defense has been, all season long, they've been ridiculed. And Mike Nolan and his staff made an adjustment. And one of the adjustments was go back to basics. And just play your gap responsibility and maintain your discipline. The ironic thing in this game is what he's espousing there is just what Tony Dungy does. It's the exact same thing. Just play your basics and make the other team have to come to you.
Well, so far this game has been a mirror image, and that is the end of the first quarter with the score. The Redskins nothing and the Buccaneers nothing. Fox NFL Sunday will continue right after these messages. Tampa Bay game as both teams starting cautiously, it seems, in this game.
Well, again, both teams wanted this kind of a start. You know, Tony Dungy told us he's fine as long as the game can stay close. He's very happy with it. And Norv Turner told us right at the start of the game that the beginning of the game was very important. They had to be able to control the line of scrimmage and come out of it nicely, and they have.
Almost waiting for one break to happen to open up this game. Second down and 9 from the 8-yard line, and the handoff is to Dunn with a stutter step, and Dunn brings it out to about the 14-yard line, short by about 4 yards. Derek Smith, the middle linebacker, making the tackle.
And if you notice exactly what this Washington defense is, they're shifting, and what they're trying to do is confuse you up front. You're going to watch the defensive line. They wait till you get set, and at the last second they shift, and what that does is it creates sometimes quick thinking on the line of scrimmage. To the offensive men, now they have to adjust. And what you're doing there is you're trying to go a little fast to make somebody make a mental error.
3rd and 2, and Dukwe Kalu, one of the pass rushers on the nickel, coming into the game, but it's a running play to Warwick Dunn. And Sam Shade making the tackle. And it looks to be short of the first down, but we'll wait to see where they spot the ball.
That'd be a good spot. It looked like he was really close on that one. You know, just going through this whole thing and looking at this game, Sam Shade's made a difference with this Washington defense. And just watching the tape, it looked to me like at about the midpoint of the season is where he finally got comfortable with what he was doing in the scheme. And once he became comfortable, they became a better defense.
Former Cincinnati Bengal, who has come in and done a tremendous job, and this defensive team may be indeed the underrated. Short of the first down by less than the length of a football, and so Mark Royals will come out, and Tony Dungy, the Buccaneers, will have to kick.
Dick, if you notice what's happened at the end of that first quarter, the Redskins got a little bit of a drive and gave themselves their field position back. And because of their last drive, that should set up decent field position now on this punt.
Royals will kick from about the 1-yard line, and Brian Mitchell poised to give the Redskins decent field position. This kick not as high, and Mitchell will have a return. And Mitchell to the 45, and a good hit, and out of bounds, but not that far from midfield. That was Don Davis, one of the outstanding special teams players, after a 50-yard kick by Royals.
Beat Book and by Microsoft. Where do you want to go today?
No score early in the second quarter, and overall the field position battle is even, but lately the Redskins have had the edge, and they have their best start, their own 46-yard line. First down. This entire field now being played in the shadows as the second quarter gets underway in the second play, and the catch made by Michael Westbrook, his first catch of the game, and a pickup of 4.
Let's go back to the special teams. Watch Floyd Young and Leomon Evans. That's the first one. And watch right here. Bang. McAfee by Sean Barber got waxed. And that's some good special teams play. In the words of Jed Clampett, woo, doggies. Those boys sure can hit.
Barber moving into the starting role at outside linebacker this season. Second down and 6. And a fumble by Stephen Davis on a fake end around, and Davis recovers his own fumble, and Warren Sapp is shaken up for Tampa Bay,
holding his left knee. Working against Sims. Nothing, 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 and then that just looks like he fell. Like Steve White just kind of pushed against him, and he well, here's the fumble. It's like Stephen Davis got out a little bit too far, but that handoff was good enough. Davis should have had that thing. So he goes out a little wide. He didn't get his hands open. Hey, all of you ball carriers out there, college, high school, at any level, you've got to get those elbows open so he can see the ball into his stomach where you can control it.
Sapp comes out of the game, and Anthony McFarland, number 92, who was the first-round pick out of LSU for Tampa Bay and played well when he was used in there now. 3rd down and 9 from the 47. Brad Johnson getting some pressure, and on the screen pass, Larry Centers driving toward the markers, but will come up short, though he does get into Buccaneer territory. And that will be Derek Brooks, also heading for the Pro Bowl on the tackle, and looks like Sapp is up and yammering again.
Well, he's a good yammerer, but he's an even better player. And what he does well is he's got a great motor. Remember a year ago he said, hey, I was too fat. I was too fat, I didn't play well. So he dropped himself like 40 pounds, and this year he's responded NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
Carl Williams back deep, and Matt Turk will punt.
Look at his chin strap. You can tell it's a kicker.
And going for the block were the Buccaneers, but Turk gets it off, and Williams in traffic makes the grab. But once again, this game being played, it seems, inside the 10-yard line for both clubs.
Field position game.
It's a celebration.
Getting the bye into the playoffs, the divisional playoffs. Team record 183 games with the Buccaneers. Tampa Bay starting from the 7-yard line. Mike Allstott getting the handoff, and Allstott can't find any running room. And right now, let's check in with Pam Oliver.
All right, Dick, Stadium went silent there when Warren Sapp went down, but he's fine. Sapp suffered a gash in his left shin. He will not need stitches, and he will return. Back to you.
All right, Pam. So Warren Sapp and Warwick Dunn, one star on each side of the ball, have been sent to the sidelines with injuries thus far, but both apparently responding. It'll be 2nd down and 8 from the 9. Again, there's Allstott. And again, the Redskins are right there. No running room today for the Bucs.
Did you see the shift, Dick?
Yes.
They shifted. They gave him one look, then they shifted over. Part of it I talked about was maybe make a mental mistake. The other part is to show him where the weakness is first. And then you see right here, you have a linebacker, nothing. Now you shift your defensive line over into an under defense, an under front, where your 3 defensive line are away from the tight end. You run right in it. That's good defense.
This was billed as an offense versus defensive matchup. But both teams are playing extremely well defensively. Sean King, 3rd down and 9. King from the goal line. And the pass incomplete, and pressure put on that time by Sam Shade on a safety blitz, and that will bring up 4th down, and Ndukwe Kalu also in on the act.
Yeah, and then they bring Kalu in specifically for that. Because what he does, he's a pretty good pass rusher. Came from the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's beating Pearson, a spot which is normally occupied by Paul Gruber. And then on the front side, watch Sam Shade. He's a shady character. And what he did very, very well was use his own man to shade Warwick Dunn so he couldn't get to him.
Mark Royals with the kick, and Brian Mitchell will let it bounce. And in a field position game, Matt, you notice how the Redskins have had the edge. They're gaining ground each time, and will start this series in Tampa Bay territory. That was a 35-yard kick, and a little extra scrum going on.
This is a great flurry of special teams play. I want you to watch Tim Denton right there, and Brian Mitchell down here. The ball's loose. Denton's close. Brian Mitchell screams at him. Hot ball to get away. And at the end, Buck
Buckley comes in, and this is smart football. The whistle has not blown. Buckley has no risk. If he takes that ball and advances it and is tackled, it's where he advances. If anything happens like a fumble, doesn't matter, comes back to where it was down.
Speaking of back, Warren Sapp, as Pam reported, back in its defensive tackle. First down on the 43 of the Bucs. Little razzle-dazzle by Brad Johnson, and the pass to Stephen Davis, and Davis picking up only 2 yards after all of that. And we want to report as well that Rondy Barber is out for the second straight series. Brian Kelly is the other cornerback with Donnie Abraham.
You see Donnie Abraham there. Remember earlier I spoke to you about you'll see good tackling. Not only good tackling, but outstanding corner play in the run game. Abraham came up, made Trey Johnson miss, and then came back and made the play.
There is Barber on the sideline. Second down and 9. Here is Davis. And Davis driving. Flag is down. Maybe our first, and it is our first penalty of the game, as Davis gets to the 39, where Derek Brooks makes the tackle. Dick Hantack indicates holding against the Redskins.
Another thing that I've always enjoyed about playoff football is you get excellent officiating. And they let you play pretty much. It's guys who understand the game maybe a little bit better and had excellent years.
Holding. Offense. Number 63. The play ended beyond the line of scrimmage. The whole place beyond the line of scrimmage. Eyes from the spot of the hole. 10 yards. Repeat the down. Second down.
And obviously Dick Hantack's microphone breaking up, and the lead blocker was Keith Sims, and Donnie Abraham now being helped off. So right now the Buccaneers are without their starting corners.
Well, that puts a little damper, and there's Rondy Barber comes right back out.
So they're not.
You go down, I go back in. That puts a little, Dick, what that does is puts a little bit of damper into the calling of the defenses by Monty Kiffin, because he likes to use, you hear about that cat blitz. That's the corner coming.
Second down and 17, and the pass up the middle is caught by Connell, and a first down. Albert Connell, who has been the chief target thus far, and a little jawing going on right now between Damian Robinson and Michael Westbrook, but a 19-yard strike, and the Redskins get to the Bucs 31.
What they're getting to is to the deep inside. They're going to play the disciplined defense. You saw the linebacker get the deep drop, but he was able to get between right there, the secondary and the linebackers. And because of the protection, the nice throw. Now at the end of this play, that's just a little bit of posturing. And here's the reason why. There's nothing wrong with that kind of block. Robinson took exception to it, and they carried it a little bit extra.
And a timeout call. Brad Johnson goes to the sideline. We are still scoreless. Strain, and he is expected to return to the game as well. So there have been some nicks on the part of the Buccaneers, and they have all come back. That's Rondy Barber, who was out there with Brian Kelly. The other cornerback, Warren Sapp, came out, and Tony Dungy now trying to hope his defense holds. The Redskins are averaging over 4 yards on first down. And we have a stoppage. Redskins calling that timeout before we are that last break.
There was a malfunction of the game clock. The game had ceased running. That's the reason we reset at 3:33.
And a slight malfunction to the microphone used by Dick Hantack today. So,
Dick, you know it's a slight malfunction with Kip Vickers, the left offensive tackle. And I've never seen a stance like this in my life. He has a left offensive tackle stance, but he puts his right hand down with his right foot up. I've never seen that before.
Redskins from the 31-yard line, and the handoff to Stephen Davis, who gets a big opening, and a first down inside the Bucs 20-yard line. Barber and Lynch, but not before Davis gets 12, and he is the kind of weapon he was during the regular season to this point.
Watch Kip Vickers. Nice block right there. They came on a stunt. He washed him right down, opened it up, and then Michael Westbrook got the block that allowed him to get the first down. And again, this is that downhill style. Watch. Finish the run. Watch Michael Westbrook on Damian Robinson. They jawed earlier. He wins that match.
And the Redskins trying to break the scoreless tie with under 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. From the 19-yard line, Brad Johnson on the reverse screen to Alexander, and the tight end picking up about 4 or 5 yards on the play with the middle linebacker, Hardy Nickerson, bringing him down.
I mentioned to you earlier about Kip Vickers, that left offensive tackle who's playing for the injured Andy Heck. Very big kid, and his stance is a little unorthodox, but I spoke with Russ Grimm, the offensive line coach, and he said he's comfortable with it, and I'm not going to change him. If he believes he's a better player like that, I'll let him go. He makes no mistakes. And on the other side, there's Russ, who is a great player. One of the smartest offensive linemen to play.
He looks like a hog.
He is a hog.
Second down and 6, and here is Davis showing he can still cut, and John Lynch will wrestle him out of bounds and prevent Davis from getting the first down. That'll bring up third down and about 2.5 for the Redskins, who are threatening.
And they're threatening because they're getting some physical play out of Kip Vickers. Look who he's working against, Warren Sapp. What he does, he washes him down completely. In this Tampa defense, they like a lot of movement. They're not real big, so they'll give you stunts in games. As an offensive lineman, you got to get your body on a body and then take them where they're going. Wash them down. Vickers, 2 plays, 2 pluses, sets up this third down.
Vickers and Sapp teammates at the University of Miami. And now the Redskins will call a timeout. They don't want to do anything rash as they are in good position right now. Well, the Redskins, kind of a turbulent year, even though it was a winning year. Dan Snyder taking over as the new owner of the team, and some stumbles along the way, and a tough, demoralizing overtime loss to the Cowboys in the opening game. But Brad Johnson stayed healthy and effective, and Stephen Davis was the top rusher in the NFC, and Dan Snyder giving Norv Turner, who was really a beleaguered head coach, the game ball after they clinched the NFC East title. And Norv Turner telling us that the games against the Giants in week 2, and again when the team was 5-4 in week 10, were the pivotal victories for his team.
And then I also think, along with pivotal victories, was the way their defense came on. And they got back to basics, and they started to play really well. I don't know if a light went on, if they started to click. They're still not overpowering, but they're playing better together as a unit.
And talk about a team under siege. And you mentioned Mike Nolan. Bill Arnsparger brought in as a defensive coach or consultant. Harold Green telling us yesterday you don't hear much about him, but behind the scenes you know he's getting things done. Third down and 2 from the 11-yard line, and the inside handoff to Brian Mitchell, and the Bucs stop him.
Well done. Well done by the Tampa Bay defense. John Lynch was right there. Warren Sapp was also just a very well done job. Watch Brad Culpepper. Takes the inside. Now watch Lynch show up. White's right there. They're all there. It's good instincts.
So the Bucs defense stiffens, and now the first opportunity to break the scoreless tie. Brett Conway will attempt a 28-yard field goal. And Conway's kick is good, and the Redskins at this point beating the Buccaneers at their own field position game have taken a 3-0 lead with 5:37 remaining in the first half.
Dick, you know as well as I, that man right there, Tony Dungy, says 3 points, nothing. My team has been in close games all year long. We're comfortable with it. If we're down by 7 or if we're down by 3, we believe we're ahead.
Well, tomorrow we have a glittering exhibition of stars on display as the Vikings with Jeff George with a great year at quarterback, not to mention the league MVP, Kurt Warner. Smith and Falk, the great running backs. And, of course, Randy Moss, Isaac Bruce. An offensive showcase on tap tomorrow on the NFC divisional playoff game as the Vikings go against the Rams, who had the best record in the NFC. Pregame show begins at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific.
Just looking at that game, you said it, offensive showpiece. But I think you also have to look at the Minnesota defense, much like this Washington Redskin defense, down the stretch, not giving up big plays and playing better together as a unit. However, in that game, I think maybe the one thing that gets overlooked is the Rams defense, which is a pretty darn good unit. That one, I'm really looking forward to that game tomorrow.
Conway's field goal giving the Redskins the lead 3-0. Warwick Dunn back to receive the kick. And Conway with the kick, and Dunn from the 6-yard line. Warwick Dunn. And Dunn is tackled at the 26-yard line by Eddie Mason.
You know, in our pregame show, Howie Long was talking about the ability of these defensive tackles to control the football game. And I believe in Tampa, Culpepper and Sapp have been doing just that. They've been handling the middle of that defense. And in Washington, Wilkinson and Stubblefield have been doing it just as good a job over there.
Sean King has completed only one pass. Warwick Dunn goes in motion to the right from the 26. And a pump fake and a pass batted in the air and incomplete. And it was Dana Stubblefield who got his hand on it.
Boy, and they had a matchup that they liked. They had a linebacker on Warwick Dunn. You know, sometimes what happens when you're a defensive lineman, if you're getting blocked at the line of scrimmage, you're not getting a lot of penetration, get your hands up. Just get your hands up, because you never know what you're going to take away. And what they were taking away was Greg Jones' matchup on Warwick Dunn, which had big play written all over.
And the Redskins felt they would need a defensive back on Dunn out of the backfield. They did not have it there. 2nd down and 10 out of the shotgun. King goes underneath to Allstott. The Redskins clamp down in a hurry, and a gain of about 5. Derek Smith on the tackle. 3rd down coming up. Well, Pat Hayden is the only rookie quarterback to win in the playoffs. But rookies have not done that well. 1-4 record. 4 touchdown passes, 13 interceptions, and that is the spotlight that Sean King operates under today. Third down and 5. 4 wide receivers line up for the Bucs. Pressure up the middle on King. Pass caught by Dunn. And Dunn driving towards the 1st down, and may have it. He does. Warwick Dunn, who is shoved down by Marco Coleman, and Dunn shoves back, but not before the Bucs get out of trouble and pick up a 1st.
And Dick, not before the quarterback does all of the right things. Watch Sean King. He's identifying where the blitz has to come from, and he's verbally telling everyone up front what has to happen. Give your protection. Now he sees it, sees the clock, gets set, makes the throw, because what he did earlier in guiding everybody, the protection is right.
And how poised he looks when you look in his eyes. 1st down from the 38-yard line, and a play action, and King going up top for Jacquez Green, and the pass is broken up by Le'Veon Evans downfield. So the Bucs go deep on that instant.
Dick, that was a wasted opportunity, and this goes back to a poor throw by the quarterback. It's wide open. This ball has to be thrown this way. Throw it out, not up. Because he threw it up, Le'Veon Evans is able to come back and almost make that pick. And it's a blown opportunity because there was enough field to throw it to allow Green to use his speed and make the play.
2nd down and 10. Here comes Evans with a blitz, and the handoff to Allstott. And making the big tackle there for the Redskins was Derek Smith.
Well, you said it. That was a big tackle because they came with the blitz, and Allstott has a little bit of make you miss in there. And just that little bit of wiggle, he made a miss and came back inside. And the tackle by Smith kept them to just the 4 yards on 5 rushes.
Well, the Buccaneers have not mustered any kind of an offense thus far. 1 for 3 on third down conversions over 5, and they need 9 yards right now. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers call a timeout now, their first timeout of the first half. Well, the Buccaneers setting a franchise record with 11 wins this year, stumbling in the open against the Giants. A 3-4 start, but Tony Dungy remained calm. Trent Dilfer broke his collarbone in the Seattle game, and Sean King, the rookie from Tulane, led the way on a 6-game winning streak as the Bucs won 8 of their last 9 and clinched their first NFC Central title in 18 years. And a very patient, you talk about patience being the key. This is what Tony Dungy and this team is all about.
No question. You know, really, I said it earlier, I'll reiterate. This quarterback, Sean King, is really an extension of Tony Dungy. Both outstanding people. Both of them can laugh at themselves. Both of them have smiles on their faces for the most part. They always are working and looking to get better. And I think the world of Tony Dungy. And if I think the world of Tony Dungy, that means that I have high regard for that young quarterback.
Third down and 9 after the Buccaneers use up a timeout. 3-0, the Redskins lead. 3:03 remaining in the first half. They don't blitz now, and the pass intended for the rookie Darnell McDonald on the slant. Incomplete. Tim Denton on the coverage.
This is what the plan appears to be under defensive coordinator Mike Nolan. If they can get him into third and long, they will show blitzes, and they will force him to have to go to his checks because they're going to have to identify them and then go with their blitz reads. And once they do that, that time they showed it and came off it, and the ball came out quick and was easily defended.
Mark Royals kicking. Brian Mitchell with a fair catch on the 12-yard line. Well, from high above, these pictures are from the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, a 75-year-old tradition for the Goodyear Blimps to make appearances at major sporting events. And today, the NFC Divisional Playoff. And it's the only game this week between teams that won their respective divisions. And Matt, I'd have to say right now that the Washington Redskins seem to be controlling this game, even though it is only 3-0.
Yeah, well, I think it goes back to what we saw last night when we sat and talked to a lot of them. It was that confidence. It was a respectful confidence. They knew that this Tampa Bay defense was good, but they also knew that they were pretty darn good as well.
And we'll see how good they are starting from the 12. Brad Johnson handing off to Stephen Davis. Tested the middle and bounced away for a gain of only 1.
And you see who made that stop right there, looking right on the top. That's John Lynch. And the reason that John Lynch is right there is because this is where, you see him up here? He's just kind of being sneaky out there, and then he's going to shade himself up nice and slowly. Remember, when he walks down in that 8-man front, he becomes unaccounted for. And he becomes the free man, then he can just run to the ball and make the play. And his Pro Bowl selection tells you how good he did.
1 of 4 on that defensive unit. Second down and 9. Short drop, and the pass headed for centers. Incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd and long.
If they had right there in that formation, they had a little bit of a mismatch, something that probably won't happen again. They had Steven Alexander, their tight end, who can flat out run, versus John Lynch, who has problems sometimes with a speed guy. Even though he's a tight end, Alexander can run. One thing you have to remember about this offense is they give you lots of different sets, and they force you to adjust to them.
Third down and 9, and play fake. Connell downfield, and there he is again. Albert Connell, who has found the open spaces today, and Brad Johnson has hit him virtually every time. A gain of 23 yards. Derek Brooks, the linebacker, downfield, and the 2-minute warning here in Tampa with the Redskins leading the Bucs 3-0. Leading 3-0. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have first half analysis And highlights of today's early game between Miami and Jacksonville, plus our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats, all coming up on the Visa halftime report. First down at the 36 for Brad Johnson, who's been protected well, and gets it off to Brian Mitchell, who makes a shoe-top catch, but will lose about 2 or 3 yards on the play.
I want to show you the play earlier than this, the one previous. It's how to attack this defense. Hardy Nickerson is the key. He gets deep down the middle of what's called cover 2. So what Norv does is he occupies him with Michael Westbrook. And now he clears that area. And because he can clear that, Connell can come in from the backside and make a big play.
Connell with 4 catches for 59 yards, and the Redskins winning big in the total yard derby. 2nd and 12 from the 34-yard line. And Brad Johnson with his pass, it's caught up to the 40 by Irving Fryer, but the clock continues to run. The Redskins have 1 timeout remaining.
Dick, it's interesting. I love good football, and this is really good football because Monty Kiffin, what he does, it's not a traditional cover 2. They take their 2 safeties and they keep them deep, and then they run their middle linebacker, Hardy Nickerson, right down the middle, almost giving him a 3-deep look. You can see he's still looking at his knee. But what Norv Turner tries to do instead is he uses the defense against you. So he occupies people and then brings it in between.
5 defensive backs, including Donnie Abraham for the Buccaneers. 3rd down and 6. And a play action being chased. And Steve White on the sack, getting Brad Johnson from behind. And that is the 2nd sack of the game for Tampa Bay.
This is excellent coverage. Rondé Barber, again, this is the zone. No place to throw to the outside. Good disciplined zone. And then Connell, which was his main receiver. Nice job by Quarles. Nickerson also right there. And because of that, as he's looking downfield, nowhere to throw, sacked by White.
And the Buccaneers have called a timeout, and Steve White, who is the least noticed of a very impressive defensive front 4 by the Buccaneers, getting the sack, and the clock stops with 26 seconds to go, and Warren Sapp gingerly walking to the locker room.
This is the play previous, working on Keith Sims, and Vickers to that side. Sims does a nice job of just staying on them. He's not a healthy Warren Sapp, and he knows it right away. He takes himself out of the game.
Earlier suffered a gash to the shin. Did not need any stitches, came back in, but he's history for this half as Matt Turk delivers a sky-high punt and a fair catch called by Williams at the 19-yard line. Coming into the game, the ultimate in contrast of styles. Redskins with the 2nd best offense in the league, the Buccaneers with the 3rd best defense. And defensively and offensively the other way. Brad Johnson now running off, and he is
he's giving you that Florida State.
Florida State. He's in the right
chop.
place.
Yeah. Florida's a little closer than Florida State from here. And Jacksonville's you have to make a Louis up there, and Florida's just dead ahead.
Earlier in the AFC, 2 Florida teams playing. Actually, one took down Miami, Jacksonville in a demolishing win. First down, Sean King. And the pass is caught to Jacquez Green, stopping the clock with 13 seconds to go in the half. And the Buccaneers get out to their 41.
A lot of time to throw that football. And they're only rushing 3 guys. You have 5 blocking them. And what you're guessing is that you're not going to be able to find the hole in the zone. With 3 rushing, that means there's 8 defenders. That was a nice completion, but an ugly throw. Kind of Joe Cappish.
Yeah. Former Minnesota Viking.
Tough guy.
Non-picturesque quarterback. Good pickup of the blitz, and going deep for Green, and Darrell Green is there, and the pass is ruled incomplete. So Green on Green again, and that was a long pass attempt by Sean King.
Well, rule number 1, and Darrell Green's been playing rule number 1 for 17 years. Don't get beat deep in a zone. You see this cushion? For that cushion, I don't care if it's Michael Johnson running out there, you're not going to get behind Darrell Green. The only thing that surprised me there is he didn't come up with an interception, And thankfully for them, he didn't, because if they did, who would play quarterback?
That's true.
Since we saw Brad Johnson run into the locker room.
6 seconds remaining in the first half. Time running out. Sean King is going to throw it up for grabs down the middle of the field. And it is incomplete. Those are one of those plays that you have to hold your breath, because you never know on a deflection if one of the offensive ends pick it up. Darnell McDonald was the intended receiver. Norv Turner runs off the field with the lead, and that is the end of the first half with the score. The Redskins 3, the Buccaneers nothing. Stay tuned for the Visa halftime report with JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. And the two teams back on the field, and we get ready for the third quarter with the Redskins leading 3-0, and we know that Tony Dungy said he'd be comfortable down 3-0 at this point. How do you look at this chess match so far, man?
Well, it's exactly what we kind of expected when you see exactly how that Tampa Bay defense has played so well, and then you look at the Tampa Bay offense, which hasn't been overpowering, and the Washington Redskin defense has been playing better. So right now, I think if you look at that, it's kind of what we expected. Maybe what we haven't expected is that Tampa Bay is staying in third and long situations, and to me it's kind of a surprise.
Buccaneers trailing 3-0, and a few moments ago Pam Oliver caught up with the Bucs coach Tony Dungy.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dick. Tony, first thing, Warren Sapp went into the locker room early with a sprained knee. Can you give me an update?
Yeah, I don't know how he's going to be. He's going to try to go, and we'll see how much. It's just a pain thing. He doesn't have to worry about hurting it, so we'll see.
How do you get some offense going for the second half?
Well, we've got to convert our third downs. I think if we can make some third downs, we'll start to run the ball a little bit better.
All right, thanks, Tony.
All right, and there is Sean King, and right now the Buccaneers are 1 for 7 on third down conversions in the game. And this crowd in a festive atmosphere, the first home playoff game ever in the stadium. A couple of years ago, the Bucs beat the Detroit Lions here in the playoffs and then lost to Green Bay in the NFC divisional playoff the following week. Brian Mitchell back as Martin Gramatica, who has had a terrific year as a rookie but has not yet attempted an extra point or a field goal, will kick off for Tampa Bay. And the second half is underway. And Brian Mitchell returning from the goal line for the Redskins. And Mitchell gets into the open field, and Gramatica misses a tackle, and Mitchell still going downfield, and another miss, and Mitchell will go in for the touchdown. And I did not see a flag down. Brian Mitchell, who a few years ago was one of the best at kick returns, brings this back 100 yards for a Redskin touchdown.
And Dick, the key was his matchup on Martin Gramatica, and he didn't waste his time. And this is the style of Brian Mitchell. It's much like the running game of Stephen Davis. Get right upfield, nice blocks inside, run past. Now watch him set him up. One little, and then his power. It was nothing more than power. Watch the feet. They stay right there. One man to beat. He outruns that, and then he's in like Flint.
Don Davis was the man who had a shot at him and went after his feet. And Brian Mitchell with a 100-yard kickoff return to stun the crowd as the second half gets underway. The extra point by Conway is good. Mitchell being mobbed by his teammates. And that is a Redskins playoff record. That's an NFL playoff record for kickoff returns, and the Redskins lead 10-0.
Well, the whole thing starts with that wedge. You have to give your running back a chance. Nicely done inside. And then once he can spill out, you always turn one guy over to your kicker. And Brian Mitchell's style is that of straight-ahead power. Watch Martin Gramatica. The rookie kicker gets a dose of Brian Mitchell to the kisser. Nice face, right to the face, just runs right through it. And look at the people in the background. And there's one special teamer to another. There's Turk, the punter, a very happy man.
And the longest kickoff return in NFL postseason history. Remember a few years ago, Desmond Howard returned the kickoff 99 yards against the New England Patriots, and that was beaten today. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would like to have a taste of that because they have never had a kickoff return for a touchdown in their history. And this crowd has been silenced dramatically. Brian Mitchell with the great return, and now Tony Dungy looking up at the scoreboard, sees his team down by 10. Conway kicking off, and Warwick Dunn from the 6. Pretty fancy running by Dunn, and he runs into a Redskins sandwich. And a tackle made at the 31-yard line by Mark McMillan and Eddie Mason.
You know, Dick, you're down by 10 points. They've not generated much no offense really in the first half. And the other day, interestingly, I spoke with Tony Dungy. I said, what is it? Well, what's the point spread where you get worried? Is it 10 points? Is it 7 points? He said, no, we're all right with that. 14, that becomes a problem.
They're not far away from 14. Bucks beginning from the 31-yard line. Jacquez Green in motion, in the pitch to Warwick Dunn. Nowhere to go, and the Redskins defense, inspired by that kickoff return by Mitchell, and Wilkinson penetrating, got good pressure.
Dan Wilkinson just overpowered the inside and took away any chance of a cutback from Warwick Dunn, because he just used his strength right up the field. Watch him working on Middleton. Take him, get rid of the block, just overpowered him and just worked down the line. And because Cook outside 75 took away the outside, there's nowhere to go.
And Norv Turner told Pan that he is simply delighted with the way the defense has played thus far. That's understandable, the way they're playing. Second down and 12. King's pass and nearly intercepted.
Didn't know it.
And that was Derek Smith. It was thrown, intended for Jacquez Green, and thrown behind him.
See, he's slapping his head. That's because he had drawn a bead on Green. He never saw the ball, and the ball actually went right through. He had a chance for a pick, and he knows it. Wasted opportunity. Sean King had a wasted opportunity earlier, and Derek Smith has a wasted opportunity there.
Third down and 12 on the Tampa Bay 29. King's pass and overthrown. Darnell McDonald was the intended receiver. So Sean King a little errant with the accuracy here in his first playoff game. That'll bring up fourth down.
Bert Emanuel had a different idea. He believed that he was wide open. And based on the fact that there's nobody to the inside of him, he would be able to state a pretty good case. McDonald on the other side was a little upset as well.
Royals with the kick. And there's Brian Mitchell, this time on the punt return at the 22-yard line. And Mitchell gets hit as he crosses the 35-yard line by Fred McAfee. Timeout. The Redskins have the momentum and a 10-point.
Monday morning.
With his third career kickoff return for a touchdown. First down at the 37-yard line. Stephen Davis, maybe a yard on first down. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers now have their starting defensive unit intact. Warren Sapp back out there. Donnie Abraham at cornerback.
You know, we talked about Kip Vickers on that left side and how well he's done. But there's a rookie, John Jansen, on the other side who has had just an outstanding rookie year at offensive tackle. And I believe that's a guy who's going to anchor the right side for a long, long time.
Starter from day one out of Michigan. Second down and 9, and on the slant pass, Albert Connell drops the ball. He caught 4 passes for 59 yards in the first half.
Maybe one of the things that surprises me here through the first half is the lack of balls going to Steven Alexander into the middle and the underneath of that defense. Remember earlier we spoke about how this Tampa Bay defense plays their zones with their safeties traditionally deep, and the middle linebacker Hardy Nickerson runs deep down the middle. When that does, it creates a void underneath. It's been kind of quiet for Steven Alexander.
It only made 1 catch. Third down and 9. And this time the pass is caught by Irving Fryer, but short of the first down. And that will bring up fourth down. And the Redskins will kick.
Dick, remember at the start of the game, we talked about patience? And Brad Johnson said, I know I can be patient. We'll see if Norv Turner can be patient. And I think Norv Turner has been extremely patient. He's sticking with his game plan, and it's working.
Helped out by a great special teams return to give the Redskins a little margin here. So it's 4th down. Matt Turk will kick, and Carl Williams is back deep for the Buccaneers. And another great kick off the foot of Turk, and it will bounce and go out of bounds, and they will mark it at the 5-yard line. So Matt Turk has done his job today. That was a 52-yarder.
It is a gorgeous live sunset that our crew is giving you. And of course, you see that all the time in Hockendocker, Pennsylvania.
Of course. Bucks hope the sun doesn't set on their playoff hopes as Sean King in the end zone on 1st down completes to Bert Emanuel, who makes his first reception of the game. Not only did the Buccaneers get out of trouble, they bring it out to the 35-yard line.
Darrell Green took a chance. Darrell Green smelled an interception. They went with the play action, but Darrell Green stayed nice and deep. And then notice the nice protection all the way around. Emmanuel's working outside. Now watch Darrell Green. He's going to see it. He's going to turn, make the break. He lost it. He thought he had a chance to go for the ball. Actually, he lost him when he spun.
Longest play of the game for the Buccaneers. 30 yards, 1st down. And again, Sean King looking to throw. He goes underneath to Allstott and holding on. And that's exactly what Derek Smith did to prevent Allstott from dragging him like he used to drag station wagons in high school.
One of the way he liked to push him. And that's an old way actually of training, and it's kind of a good way, Dick, because you get into them and you lower your hips and you assimilate what you do when you're grinding inside.
And these numbers are prior to this possession, and it's been a good one so far. I never even dragged or pushed a station wagon.
You don't even drag or push your luggage anymore. True.
2nd down and 8 from the 38-yard line. Warwick Dunn trying to spin away, and he can't. And a 2-yard loss. And it was Marco Coleman who penetrated that time. Redskins defense playing, at this point, maybe their best game of the season.
Absolutely. Remember in our pregame with Howie Long was saying that the onus of this defense was on these 2 defensive tackles. That's an excellent job by Dana Stubblefield. He's holding the point. And then Dan Wilkinson came off the backside and took away the cutback, which allowed Coleman to make the play. Excellent defense.
3rd down and 8. Sean King, and the pass is intercepted, and it's Darrell Green who makes the interception. So Darrell Green, the only player in NFL history to intercept a pass in 17 consecutive years. And that is number 6 in postseason, and the Redskins get a big turnover here.
Watch how Darrell Green keeps everything in front of him so he can see the throw. Once there's a slip, that's all he needed.
Green, who turns 40 years of age next month, may not be the fastest player in the league anymore, but he is the heartbeat of this defense. Stephen Davis running up the middle. And on 1st down from the Bucks 36-yard line, hit by John Lynch. Darrell Green, with those team records, punctuated his first career playoff game with an interception off of Vince Ferragamo, and he returned it 72 yards as the Redskins won 51-7. That was back in 1983, and here he is 16 years later with another postseason pick.
We saw those most interceptions, most games, most seasons, but what he has is most character. And that's what separates Darrell Green. I love the guy.
Oldest defensive player in the league. And meanwhile, on the pitch and on the end around, Michael Westbrook. And Westbrook is tripped up by the linebacker Shelton Quarles, and no gain on the play. And the Redskins still needing about 3 or 4 yards for the 1st down.
Remember at the start of the game in our pregame show, Howie Long was talking about how this defense runs so well and how it's really hard to run away from them. That time the play was perfectly set up for Michael Westbrook. Got everybody inside except for one man who ran well, Shelton Quarles.
And Eric Zier is warming up on the sideline. Remember, Zier replaced Trent Dilfer. Dilfer came back, got hurt, and Sean King led the way. 3rd down and 4 on the Bucs 30-yard line. Short drop by Brad Johnson going up top, and in the crowd, the pass is broken up, and it was intended for Westbrook with Donnie Abraham and company there. So that will bring up 4th down.
That wasn't a smart play by Brad Johnson. That was one he did, like you mentioned, he threw it up. And he took a chance of having an interception. That wasn't smart.
Well, Norv Turner started out after the interception in good field position, and now calling on Brett Conway, who made good on a 28-yard field goal earlier. This will be from 48 yards out.
And a little bit of a wind blowing at him.
And you can see the winds affecting that ball, but Conway makes good anyway. And the former Penn Stater with a field goal to add to the Redskins lead. And it's 13-0, and we're getting perilously close, Matt, to Tony Dungy's 14-point deficit, where he really starts to worry.
Dick, I think we're already there.
Performance Impact by Dr. Pepper, your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper makes the world taste better. And by Propecia. Talk to your doctor today.
13-0, the Redskins lead on Conway's second field goal. And one of the loudest crowds in an outdoor stadium in the National Football League is dead silent right now as the Redskins strike quickly, taking advantage of the turnover, the interception by Darrell Green, and Warwick Dunn on the return and is dragged by James Thrash out of bounds at the 17. And we told you about Darrell Green back in '83 intercepting this Vince Ferragamo pass.
Well, he came into the league with all the speed and ability to play the corner and take chances. And 16 years later, he's still doing the exact same thing, although the way he plays his defense actually is a little bit better in terms of discipline. Thing about Darrell Green, I was talking to Trent Dilfer just the other day. He said, hey, I was watching ESPN. They were showing these old highlights, and I looked up in 1983. There was Darrell Green, and we're playing him tomorrow.
Well, he looks like a rookie.
He always does.
First down on the screen to Warwick Dunn. Tell you, look at the weaknesses of the two teams in the classic matchup, which would be the Tampa Bay offense against the Redskins defense, and unquestionably the Redskins defense is winning that particular battle.
Yes, they are. And the part of the Redskin defense also is aided by that guy made a great play, Derek Smith. And Warwick Dunn is shaken up. Remember at the start of the game, he had the jam net, and he still went out there and played. I want you to watch Derek Smith. They try to run a screen, and he fights through the blocker and forces this play. Now, he makes the play, not the tackle, but he makes the play. Because of Derek Smith's play, the tackle is made from the inside, right there. Here comes Cook. Here comes Coleman. And there's a collision.
Redskins defense has smothered the Tampa Bay attack, and there you see Smith being worked on by the Redskins medical corps. Warwick Dunn, who has gained 15 yards on 8 carries. And Smith is the first man up and walking off. Tomorrow, the second half of the Fox NFL Divisional Playoff. 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific for a pregame show. It'll be the Vikings and the Rams in what should be an offensive showdown in St. Louis.
You see the NFL's most valuable player in Kurt Warner, but you'll also have a chance to watch the Rams' most valuable player in Marshall Faulk, who in my opinion had just a phenomenal year. I don't believe it's any better. The season could be any better than what Marshall Faulk turned in.
So Dunn and Smith go to their respective sidelines. Kurt Govea, back for his second tour of duty with the Redskins, has replaced him at linebacker. Tampa Bay's running attack, and Norv Turner said we've got to stop Dunn or Allstott, whoever is hot. Neither one of them is. 19 yards combined between the two.
Now you're down by 2 touchdowns with a young quarterback, and you heard Chris Collinsworth at halftime say he doesn't believe that the young quarterback can get that done. He may be right.
Second down and 10 at the 19-yard line. On the draw, Allstott looking for running room, but Sean Barber is right there. I'll tell you, the Redskin linebackers don't get much credit, but today they're playing a terrific game.
And that's because, Dick, the interior guys have been playing very, very well. And conversely, not only are the interior tackles playing well in the defense, but the inside three of the Buccaneers is getting whipped. And that's what they had to have. They had to have some push against Stubblefield, Wilkinson, and they haven't been able to do it.
And now the Redskins come in with their pass rushers, Kennard Lang and Dupe Kalu, on 3rd and 10. And the pass to Jacquez Green, trying to wend his way to the sticks, and will fall short by about 3.
That play is an NFC Central play.
Bears.
Stolen from Gary Croton, the same guy they said, that offense will never work. But the Bears made that thing work. And this is a great league of copycats. But the Redskins snuffed it.
4th down, and so the Redskins defense stops the Buccaneers, and Brian Mitchell going back as a punt returner. Mark Royals with the kick, and Mitchell will let it bounce, and it takes a Redskin bounce toward midfield. And finally it is down by the Buccaneers. Well, the air is out of the balloon right now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Redskins own a 13-0 lead.
The explosive power. The
Oniuses premiering in March only on Fox Sports Net. Check your local listings. And Gary Sheffield, native of this area, so many major leaguers are, of the Los Angeles Dodgers, witnessing this game. Bucs fans cheering on their defense, and on 1st down they have reason to cheer as Stephen Davis is thrown for a loss by Derek Brooks.
He's trying to get outside, and Brooks uses his speed. Really been a pretty quiet day for Derek Brooks. When the Redskins have had success against this Tampa defense, where they've had it has been in the passing game, and where it's been done mostly has been with their occupying of the defenders first and coming in behind them. They've also done a nice job of the offensive line controlling Sapp, Culpepper, Ahanotu, and White.
2nd and 13. Play fake. Brad Johnson going for Connell, and the pass is intercepted. John Lynch brings the ball back to the Buccaneers, and the crowd on its feet, and it's been a while for them.
They're looking for something to get into. Lynch may have given it to him. That ball just floated out there for Brad Johnson. And we can meet Mr. Lynch because of the way this ball's thrown. Look at it. It's just hanging up there. And if you listen real close, you can hear the quack. In fact, I believe it's the quack that got Lynch over there to make that play. That's a good play by Lynch because that's one of the weaknesses of that coverage, trying to get the safety all the way over there.
Lynch intercepted 2 passes in the regular season. Bucks get it back on their 27. Hand off to Allstott. He's not going anywhere. And once again, Dan Wilkinson leading a sea of white shirts, and a loss of 3 yards, and the crowd booing for the first time this afternoon.
Wilkinson has played very, very well today. He has gotten a lot of penetration and gotten up inside, and because of that, you can see what these backs have done. 23 yards, or rather, I'm sorry, 17 yards on 15 carries. Not very good. But conversely, excellent defense by that front four.
You stop both of those backs, you've got a great chance to beat the Buccaneers. 2nd down and 12. Sean King. And a great catch made by Warwick Dunn out of the backfield. And a little applause from Sean King with a couple of defenders in his way. A gain of 16 yards.
Well, the whole thing starts with protection. And Pearson, 69, does an excellent job of protecting on Coleman. Watch how he pushes him up and allows King to stay in that pocket. And then this is a matchup that you don't want to get if you're on defense. The linebacker on Warwick Dunn. Warwick Dunn is going to beat you. If he gets time and the quarterback can get him the ball, he will be open.
Dunn was the leading receiver for Tampa Bay this year. Bucks with a first down on their 41, trailing 13-0. King looking to go to the air again, and there's Dave Moore, the underrated tight end who found an open space and gets to the Redskins' 40-yard line before Greg Jones makes the tackle, and the crowd is back, emphatically so.
The crowd is back, and it all comes back to John Lynch. And again, they're well protected. Time to throw. He doesn't have to take the first read. He can come back and throw it underneath to Moore, who runs through a tackle of Gavea and picks up another first down.
And the Tampa Bay Bucks are picking it up yardage-wise this quarter, and it's all inspired by the interception by John Lynch. Let's see if Tampa Bay pays it off or not. First down at the 42. Plenty of time for King, and the pass was way off the mark. Champ Bailey defending Warwick Dunn, who was the intended receiver.
Looks like that ball surprised him a little bit, and it had to surprise him because the Redskins took away anything down the field. They tried to look at Emmanuel deep, but he wasn't there, and he had to come off of that on that play action to try to check it down. Good job of the offensive line of protecting. They haven't gotten any push in the running game, but they've done a pretty good job of protecting King.
Pivotal series for the Buccaneers. They need some points here, trailing 13-0. Second down and 10. With under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, and a deep throw, and they're going to throw the flag on Leamon Evans, and down there it was Warwick Dunn. So they're getting Dunn downfield.
That penalty is just as effective as the completion. In fact, a lot of times you make that throw knowing that that is a distinct possibility. Leamon Evans,
Defense number 35, first down.
Leamon Evans gets his shot and Warwick Dunn. They're just going to turn it into just a straight speed pattern. But you can see it's an excellent call by the official. Evans lost the ball, and he tried to read Warwick Dunn, but he just ran right through him.
So the Buccaneers are in the red zone for the first time in this game, trailing 13-0. They're on the 11-yard line. Sean King under pressure. And he flips it to Allstott, and Allstott diving for the end zone and appears to be out of bounds before he was able to get over the goal line.
Well, you talk about a rookie under pressure. That play, Sean King bought the time. Sean King made the play with his feet. He looked downfield, wanted to go to the end zone, knew it wasn't there. Now watch him pull it down. He's going to buy a little bit of extra time, knowing that to his left, he has his outlet. Here's his outlet, and watch how he finishes.
Now the Bucks can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Second down and 1. And here is Allstott trying to go outside. They still haven't brought him down. He's going to score.
They took everything away from Allstott at the point. Nowhere to go. But what they forgot is that Allstott is more than a power back. He's a back that can change direction and find the end zone, and he demonstrated it there.
And John Lynch's interception spearheaded the surge by the Buccaneers, and Martin Gramatica with the extra point, and the Redskins lead has been cut to 13-7. The turnover comes back here to haunt the Redskins, and for Mike Allstott, who scored all 7 rushing touchdowns for the Buccaneers this year, this is a big 6 for him.
Remember his signature run a few years ago in Minnesota, where he ran over a couple guys and came back? Well, this is the same kind of thing. You get hit, he keeps on going, and then what people forget is he does have the ability to redirect. He's not a straight-ahead, pure power guy. He certainly has that, but he also has, here's the power, he also has the evasiveness to be able to outrun people. You know that the linchpin of this whole thing was this man, John Lynch, who got it started with the big interception.
And that was the break that the Buccaneers needed. It got the crowd back into the game, and it got the team back in the game as well.
Excellent game. And now it goes back to Norv Turner. And he has to balance between patience and conservatism, because what he can't do is pull back. Monty Kiffin's defense has been very patient.
Grimacing on the sidelines is Norv Turner. And the kickoff returned by James Thrash. And right now you're looking at an inspired team in red and pewter in Tampa Bay. And remember when Tony Dungy said, I am comfortable being behind going into the fourth quarter of games, and he's going to get his chance. The key play was the momentum breaker, the interception by John Lynch on this pass intended for Albert Connell, and the first turnover committed by the Redskins, and the Buccaneers came down and scored and trailed by 6.
Alsherman Singleton, a little banged up, looking like he's looking at that right ankle or foot. Guy out of Temple. Mike Allstott. They've really bottled both he and Dunn up in the running game. But where the bottle was emptied was in the passing game to Warwick Dunn outside.
Lynch now at strong safety, and Warren Sapp trying to keep the crowd in the game. He doesn't have to try much.
Man never changes. Tony Dungy is always in control.
Redskins with a first down on their 22. Brad Johnson and Connell trying to make the diving catch. Incomplete. Second down coming up. Let's take a look at what the Redskins have done in their second half possessions. They have punted, made good on a field goal following the interception by Darrell Green, and then the interception thrown by Brad Johnson that the Bucs went in and scored. Don't forget, they also returned the second half kickoff 100 yards. Brian Mitchell for a TD.
That's why I say with a total of 9 yards there in this third quarter, you can't get conservative.
Stephen Davis in motion to the right on 2nd and 10. Johnson's pass intended for Alexander, incomplete. Quarles downfield defending.
And they're starting to get a little pressure inside. Starting to get a little bit of push and making Brad Johnson get out of his comfort zone of sitting inside in that pocket.
1 for 6 for only 5 yards and an interception here in the second half.
3rd and long.
Alexander goes out of the game for a 3rd wide receiver, Irving Fryer. Pressure on Johnson on 3rd and 10. He gets hit but completes the pass to Mitchell, but he is stopped well short of the first down by this inspired Tampa Bay defense.
Took everything away down the field. Got the pressure and forced him to have to dump it underneath, and then you just get to the football. It's good, solid, basic defense, but it happens because you only have to rush 4 people and still get pressure, as you see down here.
Matt Turk will punt from the 15-yard line, and Carl Williams makes the diving catch, and that wind is playing havoc today, and the Buccaneers will have good field position. As we want to remind you that our overhead shots are courtesy of Goodyear, and our blimp is the Goodyear blimp Stars and Stripes from Pompano Beach, Florida, And our thanks to the pilot and crew on board providing us with these aerial shots. We saw a great sunset, and now it is nighttime in the Tampa Bay area, and 55 seconds away from the fourth quarter with the Redskins leading 13-7.
Well, we talked about Sean King. You can see right there, 3-1. And that just goes to speak about his ability to have great poise.
12-0 in his senior year at Tulane. From the 40-yard line, King looking to throw on first down. Moore incomplete.
Good coverage, but again, the Redskins have not gotten pressure on Sean King. And Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator, in the last 2 series has said, okay, we're not going to run the football. Forget it. If you're going to take away the running game, we'll start throwing the ball until you have to give us coverage, and then we'll pound the football.
Redskins do not have any sacks today, but their team unit has played well at this point. 2nd and 10 to the 40-yard line. Here's Allstott, head down, and he gets about a yard. 3rd down and 9 coming up. Warwick Dunn, who was on the sidelines, and as you mentioned, Matt, has been a threat as a deep pass receiver in the last series, comes back into the game, replacing Allstott.
Well, they've tried to cover him with the safety, and you saw the interference call, and they've tried to cover with the linebacker. You've seen him beat him. He creates problems, much like what happens with Marshall Faulk, who he has a great amount of respect for.
Yes, he does. Sean King, like Brad Johnson, has thrown 1 interception. 3rd down and 8. King stays in the pocket, and his pass to McDonald is overthrown. So a 4th down coming up, and before that, before the kick, that is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score, the Redskins 13 and the Buccaneers 7. Fox NFL Sunday will continue right after these messages. Offensive touchdown, that's scored by the Buccaneers as the Redskins lead 13-7. 4th down, and Mark Royals will kick. Brian Mitchell back deep for Washington. And a short kick, and Mitchell on the run, returning, and a hit and down at the 28-yard line. Well, the Redskins lead here by a score of 13-7, and Tony Dungy could say we have them where we want them. We're down by 6.
Yeah, but also that's what Norv Turner said too. He said if it's close going into the 4th quarter, we're going to win this football game. Tony Dungy said the exact same thing. But I think the biggest thing is right now you have a lot of emotion back into the game. Listen to it. You can hear the crowd starting to come on. This defense has started to come on for Tampa, and it's going to be a great one. I'm fired up.
First down, and the handoff to Stephen Davis. The Redskins have never lost after leading after 3 quarters in their playoff history. They are 20-0 after leading after 3 quarters. And Matt, I know you were part of a lot of those games.
That was a big part of that thing, and it was a lot of fun. And it's fun when you start getting your good players playing well. And Warren Sapp is starting to tune it up a little bit down there.
2nd down and 10. Brad Johnson taking the deep drop, setting up the screen, and the pass is caught, and a flag is down. Irving Fryer got hit by Quarles, but there is a flag down in what has been a game with very few penalties.
Well, what's happened here, and this is going to go against Tampa Bay, but what I can see has happened here in the 2nd half is the Tampa defensive front has picked up the pace. And it's given pressure now to Brad Johnson. He has not been able to push the ball down the field in the 2nd half.
Face mask call. Obviously not pleased. Tony Dungy. Buccaneers 2nd in the NFL with the fewest penalties.
Another reflection of the head coach.
This is the first penalty against the Buccaneers today. It comes in the 4th quarter. Dick Hantak.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense 53. 15 yards, first down.
That's a big one too.
What he told me.
Shelton Quarles maybe after the catch by Fryer.
Well, here's Shelton Quarles
Nope.
right here. I think they're trying to say that that's the face mask right there on Alexander, but it looks like he missed it.
15-yard penalty marked off gives the Redskins good position now on their 46. Stephen Davis is buried by Derek Brooks, and a loss of 2 yards, and one of the hardest hits we've seen today.
We talked about the patience that it has to come from the sideline of the offense. Well, let's not forget the patience of the defense in Monty Kiffin. And here they come. And what they're bringing is a couple of run blitzes. And that time was an excellent read by Derek Brooks, who came, saw the void, and essentially a good linebacker becomes a running back. He reads the same things with those eyes, ends up with a great pop.
And he's headed to the Pro Bowl once again for the 3rd straight year. So it'll be 2nd and 12. Skip Hicks has come in at running back for the first time today for the Redskins. Hicks and Stephen Davis battled in preseason to win the job, and Davis won, and the rest is history. Play fake to Hicks. Johnson fumbles. Loose ball. Warren sacked. He's got it. And now they're pointing Washington's way. First hand tack went one way with it, and now it's the clock. I think Tampa Bay's got the ball. Warren Sapp, but not after Steve White forced the fumble.
White just beat him with speed around the corner. And because they had coverage down the field, he was able to smack that ball, and the ball's out. Watch Warren Sapp. He first thought about trying to be a hero, but then he thought he better just get it. Look at this. Nicely done around the corner on Vickers. Slaps it from behind, and the Bucs are back in.
Sapp showing no ill effects of that injury that sent him to the locker room in the 2nd quarter. So a first down at the 32-yard line. And now Sean King is sacked, and a huge loss of over 10 yards or close to it by Dana Stubblefield, and that's a 10-yard setback for the Bucs.
And also took him out of field goal range. But they should thank Sean Barber, because Sean Barber jumped the underneath coverage, and he had no place to throw. Had to pull that ball down. Good coverage out in the flat, and then Stubblefield's able to come off. See, right here. This is what they're going to try to get to. Barber comes over to get down in this flat. No place to throw.
Big play by the defense coming right back after that unfortunate play for Washington on the fumble. 2nd and 20. Design sprint out. King. Bobble and a catch. Bert Emanuel's got it. And they get a lot of those yards back. He'll be short by about 4. Mark McMillan on the hit on Bert Emanuel.
I was waiting for this from Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator. Move the pocket. Move the pocket. Buy some time. Stretch the field. When you start moving your quarterback, that really puts pressure on you defensively in your zones. And you really have to have excellent discipline. And if you don't, holes open up. Sean King took advantage of one of those holes.
And the Bucs are back in field goal range. 3rd down and 3 on the 25. King. And King is going to fumble, and it's picked up by Warwick Dunn. And Dunn will have the first down for Tampa Bay on a broken play. Sean Barber forced the fumble, and Dunn picks it up. And a big play for Tampa Bay on 3rd down.
He was looking down the field for Yatil Green. It wasn't there. And then Darrell Green stayed on Green. No place to go with the ball. And then Sean Barber slapped the ball away. But look at the heads-up play. Warwick Dunn. It was all because of the pressure, or the coverage rather, by Darrell Green on Jaquez Green that forced him to have to come back.
First down, and here is Warwick Dunn trying to work his way in for tough yards, and Dunn put nothing there. Marco Coleman on the tackle.
What a big play. If you look back in today's game, to this point, all the big plays that's happened, by this Tampa Bay offense have been Warrick Dunn. The interference call, the throw earlier right after Lynch's interception to get another first down, and that one was a monster. It was a
very alert play by him.
Yeah, not only that, but I mean, it could have been a disaster. Ball's on the ground. Dunn, because he's trailing, much like Franco Harris, just running to the football. You pick it up. Good hustle. Turned in a big play.
And an 88-1 edge this half by the Buccaneers. So they have turned it around, but still trail the Redskins by 6. Sean King to, guess who? Warrick Dunn again. And Dunn tackled close to first down yardage inside the 10-yard line by Derek Smith. Maybe short by a yard, and shaken up early. Warrick Dunn has come back big here in the second half.
Well, yesterday, as we were watching the film, and we spoke with Tony Dungy, Richie Zients, our producer, said, you know what, Warrick Dunn's going to make some big plays tomorrow. And Tony Dungy agreed with him, and they were both right.
That's why Richie's going to be an assistant coach with this team next year.
Exactly right.
2 tight ends on 3rd and 1, all stop. Very close to the sticks. And the Buccaneers trying to control the ball. Warrick Dunn has come up big here in the second half.
Much like Darrell Green, man with great character. You know the story of his mother. I was shot in the line of duty, and he has been raising his brothers and sisters. And it's not been an easy thing for him. He's had to learn how to be a big brother and a father and a provider all at one thing. And I have a great amount of respect for that man, Warrick Dunn.
Measuring for the first down, and the Buccaneers are short by a yard, it appears. So it'll be 4th down and 1.
All game long, this defensive front of the Washington Redskins has taken away the run. Sean King is shaking him off, saying, let's go for it.
4th down and 1.
And they're going to go for it. Now this is the defining play of this game, Dick.
Still plenty of time remaining. 9:15 to go. Warren Sapp looking at the crowd, not on the field. He's the maestro here. Allstock. The tailback with Kevin McLeod blocking up front. And the give is to Allstock. Got the first down and gets inside the 5.
That was good, smart offense. Nice call by Mike Shula.
And George Diaz with a good block up front.
You see how they tried to take away the inside? Watch the Redskins. They're going to push it right inside. Now watch. Diaz comes outside. They knew that was going to happen, so just bounce it outside. Still use the power if you have to, but you know you have Sapp on the sideline with that defense ready to make big plays.
Redskins lead by 6, but that lead is in jeopardy. The Buccaneers with a 1st and goal on the 3. Again with 2 tight ends, and King will throw out of the tight formation, getting rushed, and very smartly throws it away.
Good coverage. Nicely done by Derek Smith on McLeod, trying to get out into the flat right away. Took that away. Jumped his coverage. Nothing there. Watch McLeod. He's going to try to come outside. Derek Smith read it perfectly. He'll take his coverage. Nicely done on the tight end right here. Beautifully done. Nowhere to go. Throws it into the stands.
2nd down and goal. And Dunn is back in a tailback. And they go to Warrick Dunn. Dunn spins away and gets to the 1-yard line. Bringing up 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. And again, the Redskins don't let the Bucs get in there. Leamon Evans with a big play.
That was big because he held on to the only thing he could, which was one leg.
And limping off now is Dunn. This is several times today the Buccaneers stars, Sapp on the defensive side and Dunn on the offensive side, have had to come out.
Watch the spin right here. There's the spin. He comes out of it, but watch the bottom of it. Leamon Evans holding on. He's not letting that thing go.
So again, it's Allstock the tailback. McLeod, the blocking back. From the 1, 3rd and goal. Play fake, and King, touchdown to John Davis, the tight end.
What a phenomenal play by the rookie, Sean King, who says this game does not get bigger than me. This is why I am unflappable. I love the pressure, and there's why. He sees it. Kalu comes right to his face, and he just dumps it off, and Davis scores going away.
And the score is tied 13-13, and Martin Gramatica comes in, and a flag is down. The kick is good, but there is a penalty. And John Davis in the regular season caught 2 passes, one of them for a touchdown. And he is 1 for 1 in this game. And Sean King, the rookie, with a big play and the flag down. And apparently it is against the Redskins.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense leaping. 15 yards will be administered on the kickoff.
So the extra point is good, and the Buccaneers lead 14-13. John Davis with the touchdown catch, and the 2 defensive aces on the sideline.
Fans want to be. By DirecTV, what are you looking at? And by IBM, are you ready for e-business?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who dropped their opening home game of the year to the Giants and then reeled off 7 straight, leading for the first time today on a 10-play, 68-yard drive. They have scored 2 touchdowns off of turnovers as John Davis catching the pass from Sean King, and now Brad Johnson and the Redskins have to go to work in what has been really a game of 2 different halves, although Brian Mitchell's kickoff return did happen here in the 3rd quarter, in the 3rd quarter.
But defensively, it's been a different Buck defense in the 2nd half. They've stuffed this Redskin offense.
James Thrash and a bobble on the kickoff return, and the Redskins with Mike Sellers have to settle for possession on the 11-yard line. But you're right, Matt. Tampa Bay's defense making the big plays, and an alert play by Dunn. Davis getting the touchdown. Tampa Bay by 1. We'll be right back.
He's a prince.
Stephen Davis in the game and play action from the 11-yard line. And this pass caught by Davis out of the backfield. And it looks like another Redskin first down. The key play set up by the defense. Steve White forces the fumble from Johnson, recovered by Sapp. Now King fumbled, and an alert Warwick Dunn scampered with the ball. On 4th and 1, Mike Allstott got the necessary yardage, and then the touchdown pass to Davis, and the Buccaneers, who were trailing 13-0, at one point lead by 1 now.
Warwick Dunn, that was a phenomenal play in picking up that fumble.
First down at the 21, and unable to hold on to it is Alexander, and he has John Lynch all over him.
He has played an exceptional game, has John Lynch. He's had his coverage. He's made the interception. We've shown you how he's dropped down in the 8-man front, has been unaccounted for. He's played a whale of a football game, as has in the 2nd half the front 4. And they're starting to get pressure without any blitzes. And that makes calling defense a lot easier.
Second down and 10. Brad Johnson. And holding on to it is Larry Centers. He hasn't done that much today. He was the focal point last week against Detroit. And 4 yards loss on the play.
You know, I'm just watching Stephen Davis limp off the field. And let's just take a look at those feet, because what you're seeing is a little bit of gingerly steps going on out there. In fact, he's hobbled right off the field.
Gamely playing on an injured ankle and knee. 3rd down and 14. Johnson gets protection And this pass broken up. Westbrook was the intended receiver, and Donnie Abraham was there to knock it away. And now the Tampa Bay defense playing with a lot more confidence than they did in the first half.
Boy, it's like the zones have just shrunk up here in the second half. And they're able to do it again because Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator, is getting great pressure out of his front four. And there's no place to throw the ball back there.
Fourth down, and Matt Turk shanks it. And Carl Williams will let it bounce. And it doesn't turn out all that bad for the Redskins as it is downed at the 35-yard line. They got 48 out of it. That's the guru of the Buccaneers defense, their coordinator, Monty Kiffin. Team returns to the battlefield January 30th. It's the one and only blockbuster 17th annual All Madden team, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, right here on Fox.
And you know, I don't know if people know this, but I'm on the official All Madden payroll as an All Madden scout. Benefits are phenomenal. Anytime you can get on that bus and eat the way we do,
tremendous.
Doesn't get any better.
Go coast to coast on that bus. It's better than that.
I can eat from Allentown to Cleveland.
Timeout called by, wait a second, that's not that far.
All right, make it Denver.
Timeout called, and the Bucks with their first timeout of the second half. We'll be right back.
England's Africans have
To go in the fourth, the Bucks lead by 1, and how much has John Lynch's interception been a factor right now?
Oh, it's a monster, and we said it right at the time. That could turn things around, and because of the emotion of the crowd and the fiery play of the defense since that thing, that play has been the pivotal play of this game.
Warwick Dunn is the tailback on first down from the 35. And Dunn with the handoff and picks up about 2.
The Bucks would like to get at least 3 more points out of this to turn it into a 4-point game. Because knowing their defense and knowing the attitude of Monty Kiffin, their defensive coordinator, they believe that there's no way that this Washington Redskin team is going to drive for a touchdown. Heck, they haven't done it all day. Offensively, all they've scored is 6 points. The other 7 have come from the kickoff return.
Trent Dilfer, who went down with a broken clavicle in the game at Seattle, and he has been a big supporter of Sean King. 4-1 as a starter coming into this one. Second down and 9, and the handoff to Allstott. And right there was Marco Coleman. And a loss on the play of 4 yards.
I think this is the best I've seen that front four play all season. Stubblefields played solid inside. Dan Wilkinson's had an excellent game. Coleman's been there a bunch. They've played very good on defense.
And the Buccaneers in no hurry here. You know, they'll rely on their defense. They lead by 1. Tampa Bay 0 for 8 when they've needed 5 yards or more on third down. They need 13.
That goes back to what we said from the beginning. They needed to keep it 3rd and short, 5 or less.
And King goes underneath, and the tackle. And this is where Tony Dungy didn't necessarily want to gamble for the big yardage, because he is content to kick and hand it over to his defense with under 4 minutes to go.
Well, if you step back and look at the way this game is going, the Buck defense in the first half was on their heels a little bit. Norv Turner and that offense, led by Brad Johnson, had them kind of on the ropes. But at halftime, the adjustments, the biggest adjustment is just their front four turning it up. They're playing much better than they did early. And if you look at that, you've got to say that this Redskin offense hasn't done squat here in the second half.
Royals punting for the 10th time, and that is a club record. Brian Mitchell back deep. And Mitchell getting set to return this kick. And a flag is down, and Mitchell hitting the ground immediately, and now another penalty marker throw.
There's one all the way back.
Damian Robinson
and
limping.
Yeah, and James Thrash, they got tangled up on the starting end of that thing.
Well, Thrash looks the better of it right now than does Damian Robinson.
I couldn't tell who took the takedown. I couldn't tell if Thrash held him and slammed him, or Robinson took it and did a throw himself. It goes to Damian Robinson. Almost looks like a wrestling hip toss. Right here.
There's one foul on the play. Holding offense, number 24, during the kick. There was no foul during the return. 10-yard penalty, retry, 4th down.
Personally, I think that should have gone the other way. Thrash, see, when you're rushing the punt like that and you're responsible for a man, you don't want to let him out. And so as you take off and you rush this punt, watch Damian Robinson, 24. See, Thrash has it, and he's trying to pin Robinson so he can't get down in the coverage. But in fact, Robinson even throws his hands up at the end. But the official throws the flag. You see that underhook there by Thrash? Actually a pretty good throw.
So now it is 4th down again, and Royals will kick. Now the Redskins are looking at the far better field position as Mitchell standing on the 30-yard line.
Mike Sellers jumped. Of course, the point drill is going on inside. Keep in mind at the 3:14 mark.
Defense, number 45. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
At the 3:14 mark in this game, you throw it all out. All you're going to have, you have your timeouts. Timeouts don't really, you have to be able, you got to get some points. And the chances are you may not get the ball back again. So it'll be interesting to see if Norv Turner goes ahead and starts going into 4 downs.
Well, it's going to be in the hands of Brad Johnson when he gets back on the field, as Royals finally kicks, and a wobbly kick, not a good one, and Mitchell on the 35-yard line tripped up, and a fine open field tackle by Floyd Young. It's been a comeback game for the Buccaneers, who were down 13-0 at one time, and it all started right here with the interception by John Lynch, and the Buccaneers scoring. Mike Allstott going out of the pack and getting the touchdown. The first offensive score of the game by either team, and then the fumble caused by Steve White, recovered by Warren Sapp, and then King, before he got hit, finds John Davis, and the go-ahead score. The Bucs lead by 1 with 3:05 remaining, and a first down on the 38-yard line, and the swing pass to Skip Hicks, and the second-year back out of UCLA picking up about 5 or 6 yards with Rondy Barber defending.
It's been a quiet day, really, for the White House, but Michael Westbrook in particular, with one catch. His main role early in the game was to clear out for Connell.
2nd down and 4. Brad Johnson's pass, and deflected by Rondy Barber, and caught but out of bounds for an incomplete pass.
Pretty good job of stepping up. They're feeling the pressure from the backside. Marcus Jones, but they just step up and make that throw. Boy, this is really well-played defense. This is as good a zone defense that I have seen.
And this is what the Buccaneers bring to the dance.
It's not complicated. It's just well played.
3rd and 4 with under 3 minutes to go in the 4th, and the pass to Centers, and Larry Centers appears to have a first down, and he does. And Brad Johnson wants the team together. They want to hurry it up here, knowing that a field goal would put them in the lead again.
Looks like the offense did take a shot down there that Barber broke up, but it looks like they're going to be patient just to move it methodically down the field, and they should.
First down, again they swing it out to Skip Hicks, and Hicks avoids Rondy Barber and gets close to the first down, and he may have it, and he does, to the 40-yard line of Tampa Bay. The Redskins still with 3 timeouts remaining, and the Bucs with only 2.
And did you see how Skip Hicks finished that run? He got the pass, he turned the corner, got the first, and then lowered his shoulder at the end on Damian Robinson. Ran right by Ronde Barber, but lowered the boom on Robinson.
Brett Conway, whose career long field goal is 51 yards. That's all the Redskins need to regain the lead. Have a first down on the Bucs 40. Handoff. Larry Centers in a rare running play for Centers, and he picks up nearly 8 yards.
That was an excellent call, and good job of anticipating what Monty Kiffin was going to do, because they came on a blitz. Watch, he's coming up inside, so they're going to take this thing and run it right inside and use that blitz against them.
2 minutes warning here in the fourth quarter. We'll be right back. The Bucs by 1, and both coaches kind of anticipated this scenario down the stretch.
And they both felt comfortable with a close game at the end. Both believed they could win them.
Skip Hicks is the running back. Stephen Davis out of there. 2nd down and 3 for Brad Johnson. And this pass thrown away. It was intended for Westbrook. And will bring up 3rd and 3.
Nicely done again on the backside. Kip Vickers was beat by Stephen White. Remember earlier, White was the one that forced the fumble that turned this thing around.
Norv Turner's record not at all anything to brag about in close games. 6 and 17 in games decided by 3 points or less. 3rd and 3 coming up at the 33.
Remember, this is 4 downs here.
And the handoff to Skip Hicks, nothing there. So it'll be 4th down. And remember, Conway's career long is 51 yards, and he starts to walk on. Warren Sapp made this tackle.
Oh, this is a tough one right here. If you try to go for it and miss it, you're not going to get another shot. You have to take your shot.
So here is Brett Conway, who has kicked 2 field goals today. The first from 28 yards to give the Redskins a 3-0 lead in the second, and then a 48-yarder after Darrell Green's interception. So this is for the lead for the Redskins, and it would match his career long of 51 yards. And now the Buccaneers will try to ice Conway with a timeout.
Remember, he kicked one earlier into the wind. Now he has the wind at his back.
I guess after last week's Tennessee Buffalo game, it doesn't matter.
Yogi had it right.
Over, right?
It ain't over till it's over. It's been a well-played defensive game today, but both coaches believed it would be close. Both of them were comfortable with it coming down to the end. Both of them had confidence in thinking that they could win a close football game.
And the winner of this game will move on to the NFC Championship game on Fox a week from tomorrow. Brad Johnson is the holder. The quarterback, Brad Johnson, is holding. This is a 51-yard attempt. And out of necessity, nobody have to throw the ball, and the pass is broken up. It was a bad snap from center, and Brad Johnson looking to throw, but nobody went downfield. And Dan Turk, the long snapper, did not get the job done. And these problems, Matt, started in week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys.
I mentioned nobody went. When this ball is a bad call, you have a hot call. Brad Johnson has to yell hot, and when that happens, both the tight ends and the wings have to go out for a pass. Sellers is the only one that went out, but it was half-hearted. He had no one else to throw the football to. These guys become eligible, as well as the tight ends inside. And the kicker, they're all eligible. No reaction. Jenkins finally goes out, but it's too late.
You know, in the back of my mind, when I saw Brad Johnson, who's normal holder, I said maybe they'll fake this for the 3 yards and get the first down. So now taking over the Buccaneers and Mike Allstott turning the corner as we wind down to a minute remaining. So Dan Turk with an errant snap from center, and the reaction of the Glazier family in their booth. But when you look at Dan Snyder, the owner of the Redskins, a different view. And John Lynch with Trent Dilfer, and the Buccaneers maintain their 14-13 lead with 59 seconds to go.
Now this one's over.
Consoling Dan Turk over there, and the Redskins using up their first timeout. And that's Matt Turk, his brother, consoling him as the Redskins in position to take the lead. Conway attempting a 51-yard field goal, and it never got underway.
Well, you never know. You never know what the heck's going to happen. This year? Yeah, ever, really. And boy, this year was a humdinger, wasn't it?
Yep.
But it comes down in every game situation. And it goes back to what you practice every week. And every week you practice that hot call. And every week you get out. And when you never know when it's going to happen. And there it happened, and they flopped.
Second down and 4, and they give it to Allstott. And Allstott edges his way into Redskin territory, and the Redskins call their second timeout. Well, it's been an enjoyable year and an exciting game to finish out, Matt, and our crew has done a marvelous job, and I'm proud of every one of them, as I know you and Pam Oliver are. Today's game produced by Richard Zients and directed by Artie Kempner. You won't find two better. The associate director, Greg Scopatoni, the broadcast associates, Jacob Ullman, Derek Manning, and Adrian Hassenmeyer. The technical producer, Dean Walker, and his outstanding crew. The pregame show was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The senior producer is Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. And that was the third and final timeout by the Redskins.
I was surprised he just didn't take a knee. This one's history. Why would they even waste their time with attempting that there could be a fumble?
Sean King will hand it off again to Allstott. Trying to stay in bounds. He does more than that. He gets the first down as well, and that's all she wrote. Tampa Bay is going to win and move on to the NFC Championship game.
Well, there were so many big plays and pivotal plays that happened in this game. You think back on the Steve White sack for a fumble. The Warwick Dunn picking up of a fumble and getting a first. The critical 4th and 1 that Allstott picked up. Lots of big plays, but to me, the key for this game was the defense in the second half for Tampa Bay. They picked it up.
And sparked by John Lynch's interception. So the game is over, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after trailing 13-0, advance to the NFC title game with a 14-13 win over the Redskins. Let's go down on the field to Pam Oliver with John Lynch.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dick. John, congratulations first. Give me your thoughts about this huge win.
It was awesome. You know, you got to feel a little bit like we're destined. A bad snap there. They played a heck of a game, and we battled. And we've come from behind earlier this year, and I think that helped us a lot. We played in a lot of close games, and I think that served us well in the fourth quarter.
You were really responsible for turning the tide in this game with that pick of Brad Johnson. Talk us through that play.
You know, Brad, they had been hitting us with a lot of inside routes, and I had actually, they ran two seams, and I had actually bitten on the inside, and Brad went outside. I read his eyes and just went and got the ball.
A team that starts 3-4 heading to the NFC Championship game, what does that take?
I think it tells you we have a lot of perseverance, a lot of fight in us. We've got a head coach who didn't give up on what we believe in, and we all bought into that. And we fought our way back, and you know, 8 of the last 10, and to get this win, it's outstanding, and we'll give it our best shot next week.
You did a great job. Thanks a lot. Let's go back out to Dick.
Bucks win their 8th in a row at home, and if the Rams lose tomorrow to Minnesota, the NFC Championship game would be right here. We have more coming up from Tampa, but again, the final score: the Bucks 14 and the Redskins 13.
Swimming is Australia's #1 Olympic sport, and you'll see our record-breaking superstars set the water on fire at the FINA World Cup, paving the way for Sydney 2000. The world's best go head-to-head, stroke for stroke at Homebush for an event that promises unparalleled excitement. The FINA World Cup, Monday night at 7, live on Fox Sports.
Trust no one, Mr. Mulder.
Of all the senses, the sense of sight, the sense of hearing, the sense of smell, the sense of taste, the sense of touch. Of all the senses, the most important may be the sense of style with Elsa Clinch on CNN International.
Don't look anywhere else in February because there's only one sports channel worth watching. Cricket. Fox Sports brings you Australia's tour of New Zealand, along with the triangular series between England, South Africa and Zimbabwe. Rugby League. The NRL is back, bigger than ever. The new 14-club competition kicks off with a spectacular doubleheader from Stadium Australia. Rugby Union. The Super 12 explodes onto the screen, along with the World 7 Series from New Zealand, Fiji and Australia. Golf. 64 of the world's best teared up at the Anderson Consulting Match Play Championship, while Australia's best shoot it out at the Cannon Challenge. Soccer. The road to FA Cup glory continues on Fox Sports with every game of the quarterfinals live and exclusive. And our Aussie athletes take their first steps towards Olympic gold at the Optus Grand Prix Series live. The future of sport. The dawn of a new millennium. February 2000. Fox Sports.
Only one mechanical invention has captured our imagination so completely.
Impossible journeys of all kinds.
As the first audiences ran screaming from the theaters, the rest of society was spellbound. Explore the rich history of early cinema in The Last Machine on BBC World.
Baby, switch on the fan
and turn the lights down low.
Cuddle up and drink some love potion.
Let TV One start the show.
We're gonna do it and make it and move it and shake it like the cool summer couples
on TV One.
Cool summer couples, TV One.
Cool Summer Couples, Wednesdays at 7:30 right here on TV One, Channel 1.
The Buccaneers win, and Sean King is the first rookie quarterback to win a playoff game since Pat Hayden with the Rams back in 1976. A great come-from-behind win. Matt Millen, your thoughts?
Well, I think when you look at this game, two things have to be said. First of all, you can never forget about all the big plays that happened during the game from Warwick Dunn and John Lynch and all those things. But to me, two things stood out. Defensively, the front four of the Tampa Bay Bucks really turned up the heat in the second half and really was a difference for their defense. And then that rookie, Sean King, who at the start of the third quarter looked like he was going to have, the game was going to get too big for him. He regrouped and came back, and he stood very tall.
What about this team against the winner of tomorrow's game?
Oh, I think it's just going to come down to great defense again. If this Buck defense plays in the second half all game long, if they play in all game long like they did in the second half, they're going to be really tough to beat.
All right, Matt, and today's play of the day is brought to you by Dr. Pepper, and of course the chance for the Redskins to take the lead and maybe win the game, but the snap off the mark, Brad Johnson nowhere to go with it, and the three-point attempt fizzled, and so did the Redskins' hopes whose season ends. And so for Matt Millen and Pam Oliver, great year, Matt. I enjoyed it.
My pleasure.
Dick Stockton saying so long from Tampa. Let's go to James Brown in our studios in Los Angeles. JB?
All right, Dick, thank you so very much. And keep in mind that divisional playoff action in the NFC continues tomorrow. Two outstanding offenses, Minnesota and St. Louis, go at it. Coverage begins with the pregame show at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time right here on Fox. The Vikings and the Rams, explosive offenses indeed, as we welcome you back to the studio here with Terry, Chris, Howie, yours truly, James Brown, as you take a look at this game. That last play by the Redskins really typified the kind of problems they were having early in the season, Howie.
Yeah, they had a lot of problems, but hats off to the Buccaneers. You look at
Warwick Dunn and Warren Sapp, how many times did they leave the football field today? And Matt Millen talked about the courage and when you talk about players with character, those are the kind of players you want. Warwick Dunn, Warren Sapp coming back on the field, making big plays time and time again.
And Tampa winning like Tampa always wins. The other team makes the big mistake. Remember, Washington was up 13-0 in this ball game. Really, all they had to do was just keep punting the football away, and I think they had a great chance to win it. Two big mistakes, the interception and the fumble, the difference in the game.
And the poise, I can't get over the poise of young rookie quarterback Sean King. He outplayed Brad Johnson, this quarterback who threw for over 4,000 yards throughout the course of the season. The touchdown pass, his play calling, Mike Allstott once again, Chris, in that fourth quarter, man. Yep. Just an incredible job by both of these teams. A great football game.
Sean King, second rookie quarterback to ever win a playoff game since the merger in 1970. The other, of course, Pat Hayden. When we come back, we will have an interview. Pam Oliver will be talking with the outstanding quarterback, Sean King, as you take a look at John Lynch, who had a big hand in that victory, celebrating.
This January on World Movies, it's time to celebrate the future of film as we present our new millennium premieres. A cutting-edge collection of first-run cinema, hand-picked from around the globe. The acclaimed director of Red Firecracker, Green Firecracker brings us the breathtaking drama, Sun Valley. From Thailand comes the stylish and inspirational true story of the young gangsters. Experience the changing face of Russia with the stunningly produced epic, Day of the Full Moon. And speaking the same language does little for Spain's newest arrivals in the heartwarming comedy, Things I Left in Havana. Just some of the wonderful Y2K premieres screening this month, only on World Movies. Are you ready?
A ferocious Mike Tyson. That's all it took. One shot, he may not get up. It's over. It's over.
Now, Mike Tyson versus hard-hitting British heavyweight champion Julius Francis. Plus, Joe Calzaghe defends his super middleweight title against David Starry. Coming soon, live in selected Fox Sports hotels and clubs or pay-per-view on main events. England's African safari continues tonight with the fifth and final test. After South Africa took the series, England must win to salvage anything from the tour. Live and exclusive, South Africa-England continues tonight at 7. Fox Sports. February on Fox Sports. 64 of the world's best teed up at the Anderson Consulting Match Play Championship. Plus, the Cannon Challenge. The future of sport. The dawn of a new millennium. February 2000. Fox Sports.
The thing is that she thinks that she loves you.
It took me a long time to forget about him.
She doesn't, but she thinks she does.
I love this guy, okay?
She's my wife. We got a family.
I love you too.
You just forget about her.
I love Maureen, and I don't give a damn if you're married to her or not. If I come to your house for dinner, I'm taking her with me.
She's So Lovely. Premieres January 29 on Showtime.
February on Fox Sports. The NRL is back, bigger than ever. Kicking off with a spectacular doubleheader from Stadium Australia. The future of sport. The dawn of a new millennium. February 2000. Fox Sports.
Our Pam Oliver, who moments ago talked with rookie quarterback Sean King.
All right, thanks a lot. Sean, what were you saying to yourself when things weren't going well for this offense initially?
There's a scripture in Proverbs that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways, acknowledge Jesus and he'll direct your paths. And I was just reciting it because I knew he was going to see me through.
When we talked to you the other day, we asked you, how do you think you're going to play? You said, I have no idea, but things worked out in the end for you.
Yeah, they did. They came out all right. We got off to a rocky start, but we kept grinding and we were able to pull it out.
What's it like for you being the hometown hero, taking this team to the NFC Championship game?
It feels good. It feels good. We got one step closer to our ultimate goal. Now we got to go and get ready for another team next week.
All right, thanks a lot, Sean. Let's go back to JB.
All right, Pam, since 1990, NFC teams that have had first-round byes are now 18-1 with that victory by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over Washington. As you take a look at Sean King, poise and quickness under pressure with the winning touchdown to John Davis. Back with more after this.
This isn't.
Fox Sports gives you the chance to win this fantastic Mitsubishi Mirage in our NBL trivia competition. Every week, we ask a question. And if you know the answer, ring our competition number and you could win this very cool T-shirt and ball. Every fourth week, there's a special prize comprising 4 tickets to an NBL game of your choice, plus the T-shirt and ball. Whether you win or not, all correct answers we receive from now until April will be entered in the major prize draw for a brand new Mitsubishi Mirage. Now for this week's NBL trivia question. Which player was named the most improved for the 98-99 season? Call 1-900-966-580 now and register your answer. Calls cost 50 cents and this week's winner will be announced on Friday the 21st of January.